What is up, 12s? The energy in Seattle is absolutely electric right now. And what I have to share today is going to shake the very foundation of our championship roster. We are riding high on that Super Bowl glory. But behind the scenes at Lumen Field, there's some massive decisions being made that will determine if we are building a true dynasty or if we were just a flash in the pan. Get ready, because the latest draft buzz and some pretty controversial extensions are splitting the fan base right down the middle. You seriously won't believe some of this news. So grab a seat, hit that like button, and let's dive straight into it. We are pushing for 1,000 subscribers, so help the Hawks nest grow. The dust from Super Bowl 60 has barely even settled, and the front office is already working overtime to keep the Seahawks on top of the mountain. Being the defending champs is a massive challenge, because every single team in the league is obsessed with figuring out how to take us down. Things are getting tense when you look at the 2026 draft. We only have 4 picks. You heard that right. Only 4 bullets in the chamber to reload a team that just lost some key pieces in free agency. John Schneider is going to have to be a literal surgeon with these picks, because there's zero margin for error when you are trying to keep that Lombardi trophy at home. The biggest headache right now is our backfield. Watching Kenneth Walker III walk away to sign with the Chiefs was a total gut punch for every fan who cheered on those explosive runs. To make matters worse, Zach Charbonnet is likely sidelined for the start of the season with that brutal injury from the playoffs. So, the question on everyone's mind is who is going to carry the rock. The word behind the scenes is that we are going to spend our precious first-round pick, number 32 overall, on a running back. The name that has everyone hyped is Jeremy Love out of Notre Dame. He is an absolute beast, the Doak Walker winner, and a unanimous All-American. But let's be real, he is probably going to be a top 10 pick. That is where the strategy comes in. Peter Schrager over at ESPN dropped a bombshell that makes a ton of sense. Jadarian Price, also from Notre Dame. He was the high-end backup there, but the stats do not lie. 11 touchdowns on limited touches. Schneider has already hinted that he thinks Price has the potential to explode in the NFL. He fits perfectly into that committee system Seattle loves to run. While Charbonnet works his way back, Price could come in and share the load with George Olani and Emmanuel Wilson. Is it a risky move? For sure. Spending a first-rounder on a running back always starts a heated debate. But for a team that needs immediate impact to defend the title, he might be the missing piece. The fans are torn. Some want to beef up the defensive line, and others are desperate for a new hero on offense. What would you do with only 4 picks in your pocket? The suspense is only growing as draft day gets closer, and the pressure on Schneider has never been higher. Schneider's strategy has always been about value, and sometimes value means knowing when to say goodbye, even when it hurts the fans. We watched Kenneth Walker III and Boy Mafe head out for massive contracts that Seattle just wasn't willing to match. Plenty of analysts, including the crew over at Bleacher Report, are already saying the teams that paid those guys made the biggest mistakes of the 2026 offseason. But before we start celebrating how cold-blooded our front office is, a new controversy has surfaced that has the experts losing their minds. It looks like Seattle might have made their own financial blunder. The man at the center of the storm is wide receiver Rashid Shaheed. We locked him down with a 3-year, $51 million extension. That puts Shaheed at an average of $17 million a year. Now, take a deep breath and look at the production. He only had 15 catches in 9 games last season. 15. Gary Davenport didn't hold back, calling it a joke for a situational player. The truth is that Shaheed is a monster on special teams and has that elite vertical speed that keeps defenses honest. But paying top 30 receiver money to a guy who rarely gets more than 5 targets a game feels like a dangerous luxury. Zoltan Bude from PFF also trashed the deal, calling it his least favorite move in the entire league. The fear here is obvious. Are we paying for potential or just saying thank you for those big return yards in the playoffs? If his role in the offense doesn't grow significantly, this contract could become a heavy anchor on our salary cap for years to come. On the flip side, the coaching staff seems to believe he is the chess piece that stretches the field for Sam Darnold. Fans are going wild on social media, with many arguing that his chemistry with the team is worth the investment, while others worry we let defensive talent walk just to keep a return specialist. It is the kind of call that only time will prove was either a genius move or a rare miss by our GM. One thing is certain, the pressure on Shaheed is now as big as his paycheck. While the front office is crunching the numbers, the energy surrounding this team is something I haven't seen in over a decade. That Super Bowl 60 run wasn't just a win. It was a statement that shut up every critic who called us an afterthought. One of those fans who lost his voice screaming for the Hawks is none other than Paolo Banchero. The Orlando Magic star and Seattle's own has never hidden his love for the 12s, but he got real in a recent interview and admitted something a lot of us felt. Even he didn't think we'd be champions last year. Banchero was born and raised breathing Seattle sports, and seeing his home city on top of the world while he kills it in the NBA creates a special connection. He confessed that the vibe at the start of the season just didn't feel like a championship team, and that honesty just shows how epic our journey really was. The guy is a global superstar, but when he talks about the Seahawks, he is just that kid from Washington cheering in the cold again. He mentioned he hasn't felt this level of hype in about 12 years, not since the Legion of Boom era. And here is the interesting part. Banchero knows how hard it is to win when everyone is hunting you. Now that we have the rings, the target on our backs has grown 10 times over. But that is exactly why our rivals should be worried. The 2026 Seahawks, with Sam Darnold leading the way and the core of our championship roster returning, seem to thrive on the lack of respect. Banchero pointed out that this team loves being counted out by the national media. That fuel, that chip on their shoulder to prove the title wasn't a fluke, is exactly what could lead us to a back-to-back run at Super Bowl 61. The city is celebrating, but the locker room is focused on keeping the crown. Having the support of icons like Paolo just proves that being a Seahawk isn't just about football. It's a culture of overcoming the odds. If even the guys who understand elite performance doubted us and then had to give us our flowers, imagine what this group can do now that they know the way to the top. Confidence is through the roof, and the plan for 2026 is to be even more dominant. We covered a lot of ground today, from the draft pick dilemma and the search for a new running back at Notre Dame, to the $1 million Shaheed debate and Paolo Banchero's honest take on our championship soul. Seattle is at a strategic crossroads, where every move John Schneider makes could set us up for another decade of greatness, or bring us back down to earth. The challenge of repeating is massive, but the hunger in this building seems bottomless. Do you agree with the big money for Shaheed? Or should we have prioritized the defense? Let me know in the comments and make sure to subscribe.